How are you today? Today this video is going to be about triangularization. Triangularization. That's a really hard word to say. And I know a lot of you may have heard of it. Others may have experienced it but didn't know what it was called. Okay? To treat myself, I got a little bit of dark chocolate. Remember to do that. Just wipe things out, wipe all your problems, and just eat chocolate or something, okay? It's good. It's good for the soul. So, I'm going to probably tell you, probably experienced this many times and didn't even know. Because as in the first video, the 3 stages of the narcissistic relationship, they can all have different levels, like time frames, you know. They could love bomb you. You know, one person could take weeks and months to love bomb. The narc knows when it's just right, you know, when it's just right, that they've got you pretty much concrete clawed. And then once the love bombing is gone, well, they get bored. They get bored. There's no more drama. It's just the next phase they do. It's just like a cycle for them that they do this. And so the triangularization area is not during the love bomb stage. The triangularization area is like in the area where they're just kind of making the decision now that, okay, you know, I'm going to be getting rid of them pretty soon. You're recyclable. I'm going to tell you that you're recyclable. You're temporary. You're not forever. Just if you are with a narc, I'm not saying that you're with one. You have to obviously be with them for a while, that you realize that you are with them. But once you realize you are, if you are with a narc and you know, and you think you can change them, or you think you're the chosen one, we've talked about this before, just go. You aren't. You are a temporary object to get what they need. They create it to get what they need, and then you're discarded. Okay? So triangularization is very common, and it's done in so many ways, so you may not detect it. So all I can do is give you a few examples. You'll be able to kind of figure them out. So we're trying to give enough examples, because when you just read, oh, this is what triangularization is, and it's just a definition, it makes it easier if we have some examples. If you have some examples, go ahead and put them down there in the comments. Everybody learns from everybody. Don't be afraid. Leave comments. Maybe what happened to you. Maybe even a question, so we can build other questions for later. So, the triangularization, basically, it can be, it's easy to kind of figure out. There's you, there's them, and they pull something else into the relationship to control, torture you, power, whatever it is. Remember those words: control, power, torture. I don't care if this person acts like the most gentle person in the world, you know, loves animals or something like that, or whatever, and sweet to the neighbors and whatever. They are doing torture, evil things, and control and power without it seeing it on the outside. We discussed that it's like a mask. So these things are being done, and that's why it happens so often, and that's why we don't when we're in it, because you don't see it. You just don't see it. It happens so slow and so evilish, and so many of the things you do not know they're doing behind your back. And then you're over here thinking, oh, this is a great relationship, we're going to do this weekend, whatever, and all these crazy things are going on over here. So when things pop up, you're like, what's going on? Because you weren't informed, okay? That's really what it is. You were not informed about what's going on and everything. So go ahead and we're going to, I'm sorry, you guys, my brush was showing. We're friends, right? Okay. straps. Forget that. All right. Should change shirts that didn't have spaghetti straps, but okay, we're all friends. All right. So basically it's anything else being added to the relationship. It's not two people. It could be three people, four people, whatever. They're bringing it in to cause torture to you. It could be friends. It could be done at your work. It could be done at your home. It can be done anywhere. There's no special thing. Again, it's for power control. It is more a mental thing. Usually it's much, much, much more mental abuse and not really physical abuse. But again, it is not, it's very possible there can be also physical abuse in a narcissistic relationship. They're not working as much with the fear and the manipulation with the brain. They're working more physical. A lot of them, ones that are into a lot of control, usually have one victim and they're violent. I'm going to kind of push those kind away, because the sad thing about a narc and being with a narc is that they oh, this is really big. They destroy so many people's lives, but they never really do anything that's illegal. Does that make any sense to you? Like if they're physically abusive, obviously that can be an illegal thing. They can be put in jail. There's marks, there's, witnesses, or there's, reason to believe. So a very mental abusive narc has many victims, destroys many lives along their way. So that makes it so much widespread. But they just, people in the outside world, a lot of them like them, and they never see anything happens, and it's never really anything illegal, unless they steal money or something like that. Otherwise, they slide through life. Yep, they slide through life, and they're calm as a cucumber, even if they're lying, and it makes you go crazy. Okay, so let's get to what the triangularization is. Now, it can come in different forms, different ways, different scenarios. First of all, we got to understand how they framed you up. And that's the love bombing stage, such in the last video, the 3 stages. They admire you, they love everything about you, everything you do is cute, they text you. This attention is so overwhelming. And they love targeting people who are very nurturing, very giving, because they're so much easier. Okay, so remember, you are a really good person if you got targeted. It's not the bad people that get targeted. They're the nurturing, they love giving, that makes them feel better, that makes them feel better as a person. So you're a really big target if you're that. I'm not saying don't ever take those skills away, don't ever take those characters that you have, that you're very nurturing and loving and giving, because those are great characters. You just have to protect it, okay? Don't remove it. Don't get nasty on the next relationship that may be the good person. So you don't destroy you for them. So keep those characters, keep those skills. Hang on to them, but you want to protect them when you get into a person like this, not get rid of them. So once they do the love bombing, it becomes an illusion of love. You are, you're in love, you're just hooked in, it's your soulmate, it is like the fantasy, everything, so you're in that situation. So you all been there. You picture yourself that I'm spending the rest of my life with this person. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And you're telling all your friends about him and how great they are, he or she is, and all the great things you do together. It's on the social media or whatever kind of stuff. And then this is when that is conquered. This is when the triangularization comes in. I'm going to give you one example. It's bringing in somebody else. This is a good example, just one. It could be a friend, could be a neighbor, whatever. They go to that neighbor and say that, they've been doing these abusive things to them. They get their empathy from them. And what they're doing is they're setting that neighbor up, or they're setting that friend up to attack you. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea what they've told them. And they do this in all kinds of different ways. It doesn't even have to be anything really brutal. It could be your habits. It could be things you do or the way you act. It could be made up. It could be they tell them she or he's always on the phone with their ex, staying out late at night and coming home at 5 in the morning every night. Things that aren't even true, and you can't prove them. And what they are is they're bringing another party in, using them as a puppet to attack you. So there it is again, triangularization. They're bringing in other people or other situations to attack you. Again, there's this domination that they have to have sexually, emotionally, and physically. They just have to have it. And the bad thing is, you fell in love. You're in love. Unfortunately, you don't know this at the time. The fantasy, the illusion, I mean, you think it's real. I mean, you don't know. You were fooled. You were tricked or whatever. But what happens with that makes you more vulnerable. When people are in love, they're more vulnerable. The narc knows this. This is why they set up the whole game plan. Some are so good at it, I don't think they even know they're doing it anymore. They've just done it so much in their life. It's just like normal to them. They don't even think about it, I'm sure. And the older they get, they have more tricks, more things that worked and didn't work and things like that. One of the things, huge in triangularization, is jealousy. Jealousy, they have all kinds of things up their sleeve. Because what happens when you're jealous? You're in the love bomb stage. You don't want to ever lose this person. When you get jealous, what do? You raise the bar because you're afraid you're going to lose them. You're afraid you may even think that you're not being good enough, and you're going to, or maybe you've done things that I'm not keeping it interesting anymore. I'm not, so what you're going to do is that makes you raise the bar, and they know that. Because of your fear, they may be wandering off, and they're doing it on purpose. One of them could be, and this was common with mine, like, there'd be always, like, maybe random things from exes left there, like little trophy pieces. And it's like he was, like, clueless, they're around, and there'd be moments that he would bring or have in dresser drawers or bring out, or the exes, and not saying they liked or disliked him, but like, see, this one did, and they still, and this one was this, and then this one did that, and we did this, and we went there, and like all this information. Really, in a relationship, if you both feel comfortable talking about your past and things like that, then usually keep it out, especially at the beginning. I mean, you want to know who the people are, but these were more like threats. And that's exactly what they are. They're just like waving all these people that admired him, and you're still holding on to pictures of them. And there's pictures here or hidden, or there's something here. All of a sudden you find something that belonged. Oh, so-and-so gave me that, and you're still holding on to this little thing. Those are like, there may be something that you got from an ex, that the relationship broke up normally. And relationships can break up normally, and bad mouthing can happen, stuff like that. That does happen. That is normal, and even though it's heartbreaking, this is completely different. This is a mental manipulation for a long time to see how much they can get out of you, how much they can suck from you, how much admiration they can get from you, okay? So they even use these other people in their life to keep admiring them, telling them they're great, you're the bad guy, you know what I mean? So they're keeping this harem of people of admiring them. Then they use them to attack you as part of their game plan. So again, going back to what we were talking about with like the photos and things like that, what you do is like, oh yeah, well, what was their name, and you're trying to be mature about it, But it does. There's this, it's just the way they do it. It's hard to explain that you feel like a little jealousy in there. You feel like there's something like they may be taken away, or this person still likes them in some way. Some of them will have a lot of communication when there's no children involved. When there's children involved, that's a package deal. That's a little different, because both parents have to be part of that child. They don't have to love them, but they're part of the child, and they still are the parents. So the narc is never mature about that. The narc is very controlling, possessive. If you've got a child and you got to deal with the ex, you're going to have problems. They're very unreasonable, because actually they're the ones that are insecure. Okay, they're the ones that are insecure. So that will happen, and you're basically lifting the bar. You'll have phone calls that he calls or she calls friends. There's weird things like you might be going through some emotional thing or a discussing or a problem, and they go and talk to get empathy from one of these special friends and not you. It's constantly not putting you, it should be you too, but they're bringing another party in. And there's a jealousy, a hurt, and again, you're lifting the bar. And there's a lot of times that there'll be little subtle moments where they're in conversation where they say, I don't know if I should have other options, I used to do this with so-and-so, and used to do, what they're doing is giving little subtle options that they're thinking about maybe walking out and doing something else, other plans, things like that. These are, or they're spending more time with their friends or whatever kind of thing, and these are a way to make you insecure, make you jealous. There's a lot of emotions, hurt, whatever. So you raise the bar. Rather than walking out and say, I'm not putting up with this. This is where I cross the line. I'm going to be mature. I believe everybody has guys and girlfriends, but you are included and you know them, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable. They're not like that. They want you uncomfortable. It's different. And so you're just going to turn around and raise the bar if you don't catch on to it, and you don't know you're doing it. You're not you're worried more. You're worried about losing them, and that's what they want, the admiration. They're getting it from everywhere. Other things that happen too, you can tell it's getting to the second stage. There'll be like all these plans that might be made, or kind of made promises, maybe week, 2 week, a month ago, or 2 months ago, like maybe plan a trip or go here, and they just dump it. It doesn't happen. When you were in the love bomb stage, they were like bam, 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 bam. We're going here and bam, and they're just like showing you the world. It doesn't even have to cost a lot of money. There's just all this attention and all these really cool things. That starts going away. If you took 3 trips, even if they're small ones, in the first part of your relationship, then the second part, when they're starting to discard you, it may come up that they're going to do that, but all that stuff starts dwindling away. All these little things that they thought were cute about you, all of a sudden they annoy them, And then even if you bring it up, like, okay, we need to talk about this. I'm really uncomfortable that this other person is kind of stalking us here, or they made comments about things, about maybe having other options. You know what they do? They gaslight you. And that is another video on what's gaslighting. And the gaslighting is, you're crazy. Why are you thinking of that? Why are you bringing this stuff up? Rather than discussing it, okay, why does this make you feel this way? I didn't realize it. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. That's the mature thing in a relationship that cares. And it's like, I didn't realize that. Would this make you feel better, And we're not talking about the other people being controlling, meaning they can't do anything. This is out of control of your knowing that things are happening. And you try to bring them up as a couple, and they're like, you're just crazy. You just, it's you the one that's always, blah, 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 blah. That's the gaslighting. They put the blame on you, and nothing gets resolved. Nothing gets resolved. Um, Here's another thing too. They can use their exes, which their exes may still like left the relationship. They might be the fan we call. We have another video on called Fan and Ran. The ones that ran totally know what's going on. They were destroyed and they don't want to see this person again. They don't even hear their voice. They don't even want to remember they were with them. But they're still like, the ones are called fans. They're like exes that still are, they've been discarded. They may even try to get back in. Well, they don't realize too, they're being used as puppets. So the ones that still kind of stay in their life and they call them the friends or exes or whatever, or they dated once, you know, they're really still kind of hooked on that fantasy with them. They moved on, but they haven't. They're being used as puppets too. They'll use them as puppets to get the triangularization in. All these people that still can stay, if they don't run and never come back, they will continue to use all kinds of people in their life, whether it's family, friends, neighbors, workers, as long as they built that they can admire them, they're wearing their mask, they're all being used as puppets, not just you. Then they'll do things like, I just can't take your behavior anymore, and you're like, what behavior? That is kind of projecting, blame shifting. Everybody will probably have something that they could have. I had it where it was really bad, where it came out of the blue that I did all this crazy stuff. That one was way too obvious. He messed up big time on that one because it was like way too obvious that it never happened. There were people there and totally made it a breakup and everything, and it never happened. And actually that really, you spend more time defending yourself and being confused. That's really damaging because nobody likes to be blamed for something, and you're like, I'm not the crazy one, you are. And they'll keep pushing it. They don't give up. They never give up. I'm going to leave this at, and I hope people kind of understand what the triangularization is. It's pretty much anything that they can use some of their puppet friends, and these people don't even know they're puppets, okay? Some of them are people that, like neighbors are a really great one because they don't know you really personally, and they can start throwing things in there, and 9 times out of 10, again, remember, you don't even know they're doing this. And then you get attacked by friends, well, you did this, especially when the breakup, you'll hear about it, and like, I did what? This is all going on behind your back. Parts of it are going behind your back where they're using other people. The other parts are right in front of you where they're manipulating you and manipulating what you do and manipulating the whole relationship. And you're like stuck up here on the love bombing. Now this is starting to happen, and you're just like, what's going on, you know? So everybody's probably got a lot of experience that, especially with the people that went through all 3 cycles with a narcissistic psychopath. They probably have a ton of examples. If you're right in it at the time, look for it. Look for it. And I'm going to give you some word advice here. There's 2 things. And I know it's really hard because I had a huge problem that I totally feared, even though I knew I was right. I knew what I needed to do. I knew it would click in what was happening to me, and they, you know, manipulate you back in or whatever. I still worried I was wrong. And I don't know if any of you had that out there. It's like, you don't want to do this horrible breakup and somehow they made you feel like you're wrong half the time anyways. Like, well, what happens if I'm really wrong? What happens if this really isn't happening? And I'm accusing somebody of something that isn't true. I'm not sure if that could, you know, I had that sometimes. My big fear in life that I'm going to accuse somebody of something that I may be wrong, even though it's right in front of my face. I think that's why it makes me so mad if I get accused of something I didn't do. Because I even worry about the little things. But here's the 2 things. If you have to be a detective in your relationship, you start doing that. or excuse me, I've had a little cold, still getting over it. You get the, oh, we need to take a break out of the blue. No, 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 no. There's no such thing as breaks. I need to take a break for a week. You know, the worst thing about the break thing is they never tell you how long the break is. It's like, I need a break. And you're like, what just happened? And there's no reason. And then you are at home going, well, how long is this break? How long do breaks take? You just like, don't wait by the phone. It's it. There's no such thing as breaks in a relationship. Please. Red flag. If you're not sure, that's one. The break, they're looking up somebody else. They're checking them out online and taking them out on a date or whatever. There's something going on. Because two things happen in a relationship. You break it off. You move your two ways. You discuss it. You decide, I can't live with this person, whether it's one way or the other way, but it's pretty clean cut. You broke up or you work it out. You don't do breaks. Because what they're telling you is, I've got some business to do. So you go home and you just wait for me. No, no, no. Nobody's waiting for anybody. You're not Peter Pumpkin Eater, put his wife in a shell and kept her there very well. No, life is too short. No breaks, or if you're becoming a detective and it's getting worse and worse, and that's more on your mind than the relationship. It needs to just walk. You know what? With a narc, they're doing that kind of stuff. You don't even need an explanation. Sorry, Charlie, I'm off to a better life. Because I'll tell you what, I wish I had that kind of strength. Because nothing POs a narc more than you left, you walked out, not listening to this, you're crazy, I'm gone. Does not mean he's going to smear or she's going to smear campaign you. Heck yes, they're going to do that. So what? So what? And just have a happy life. And click, take their phone off. And everything. The other thing is, I want to tell you, social media is bad too. They can use that to triangularize you. You know, with social media, like all of a sudden a person, friend, you know, they're always liking and commenting and giggling. It's another way of making you jealous. So social media even makes it even worse. So that's it. Have any questions? Hit the subscribe button down there. I know you have to end up. Like if you hit the subscribe button, you have to log into YouTube, register. So make sure you do that. Hit the like button if you like it. It helps the video kind of grow a little better. And here's something I'm going to tell you really quick. We're thinking, I have a friend that was with the same narc I was, that's going to be visiting me in about a month. And we're going to kind of just do just a little like one-on-one talk. It's just going to be kind of winging it, you know, a discussion of a different way. And the other thing we're thinking about doing, and this sounds really crazy, is I am going to go online and find something to do that both of us have never done, and we're going to video it. I don't know. Make something, whatever, something neither of us has done, and we're going to put it on there. You know why? It's because we're going to call it Let's Have Fun. Because you are been through a lot, and I'm going to show you to be yourself again. Because you don't know what normal is anymore. I'm telling you, you have to learn what normal is all over again when you have to do better than narc. And it takes time. I haven't dated in quite a few years. It's only because you have to have that healing process, and then now I like, not dating, So, but what we can do is, we're going to do the video just to show, and you can do it too and try it out, whatever we decide. And it shows getting out of that shell and just having some silly fun again. Don't think about them anymore. They're not in your life. Don't think about them. Just get your hands dirty into something. So that will be coming later, probably in the next month. You'll find out what it is. It's just going to be something fun. So you guys have a nice evening. Take care of yourself. Oh, and don't forget the chocolate. More questions.